Hello everyone and welcome to the video. Today we are playing an Eevee solo run. Let's give this cute little fluffy dog, fox, cat thing some attention today and show some love in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe if you like solo runs and Pokemon content. Let's get into it. This is to give Eevee its time in the spotlight. I really do think it's an excellent Pokemon. I think it could have been an excellent starter in more versions than it did get. It's awesome potential for different stats, different combinations of typing and attacking and defensive stats. It is a Pokemon that has so much potential and so much interesting variation to it. I think that it can be just a whole bunch of fun. However, we are only playing Eevee today, so no evolutions, no evolution stones, and no special moves at all. We are going to be naming our Eevee after witches, warlocks. This is after one of our subscribers that has been super active in the comments. They have been super supportive. Huge shout out to witches, warlocks. Thank you for the support. I hope you enjoy being Eevee today. Eevee doesn't actually learn any special moves in Generation 1. It's all normal type attacking moves. So this is going to be a very complicated run, and it's going to be a very difficult run in a certain couple of spots. So Eevee's base stats are actually very well balanced. It actually has higher special than it does attack, which is fascinating considering it doesn't actually learn any special moves. I feel like this is because all of the evolutions do use special typing. Even Umbreon in Generation 2 did use special moves because Dark was special in that generation, because that was before the special physical split. The big hurdle is going to be Brock. Now, Brock is going to be a little bit challenging, but Eevee has a couple of very specific moves that are going to help today. That's going to be Sand Attack and Tail Whip. In Yellow version, we get Tail Whip. This isn't the case, I don't believe, in Red and Blue, but this is going to make Brock much easier because our Tackle is actually going to do some damage if we use enough Tail Whips. So that will be our tactic today. We catch our Pidgey in Viridian Forest. This will be our Flyer. We're going to want level 13 at least for Brock, and that's going to be really key to getting the most damage and the quickest win here at Brock. The Light Years Trainer is a great example of the positives of Sand Attack here in Generation 1 when you're using it. It's a very strong move in these early generations. It actually drops accuracy from 100% to 66% in one hit, meaning your accuracy is just trash after even just a couple of hits of this move. It even can get as low as 25% once you're fully set up. Because Sand Attack can mess it up so much, it's actually a much more consistent fight than it would be without. But Brock does take some time. This is a bit of a slow fight because you do need to set up a lot to get this going. Obviously Sand Attack is key initially. You have to fully set this up against Geodude to avoid taking as much damage as possible, because this can get really bad if you start taking too many tackles, because Geodude just does more damage to you than you can do to him with Eevee. But once you are fully set up with Sand Attack, he'll be missing so much that you can then set up Tail Whip and then Tackle and get past. Now Onix is not too bad if you outspeed. This is the key for Onix in both Red and Blue and in Yellow. This is because Bind is really annoying and Bide is really annoying. Both of those moves are really problematic if you are slower than Onix. If you're slow, you can get trapped in Bind and not be able to move, or you can hit Tackle directly into Bide and then take massive damage back. This is why level 13 is really crucial for this fight. Eevee at this point now outspeeds Onix and can avoid Bide. We actually got a sub 10 minute Brock split here, which is awesome. Now after Brock we get Bide. Bide is going to be essential. After Brock we sprint through Mount Mood, beat up a nerd, and get our precious Dome Fossil. With that we're then at Team Rocket. I was feeling really good, we got to Meowth, we take that critical hit, and suddenly things get really scary. We almost lose. Against Coughing though, Sand Attack comes in clutch, and we actually get a couple of key misses in order to get through this fight without any huge issues. Once we beat Team Rocket, we can start prepping for the rival. In Cerulean City, we pick up the rare candy behind the house, and then we can prepare for the rival. For the rival, I am scared of the Sandshrew especially. Spearow's Growl can be a real big problem as well because we don't have an answer to boost our stats back up or a special move or any other real attacking moves besides Tackle at this point. So we really are just stuck tackling and just trying to get lucky through this fight. Normally, special moves like Water Gun and Bubble Beam that we have access to at this point in the game can be really helpful for getting past the Sandshrew and making the rival more consistent. But today, Eevee doesn't have access to any of those moves, so we really just have to make it through with Tackle. However, I could have probably used Bide. Wasn't thinking about it, I was too scared to take damage, so I was just relying on getting lucky and getting the hits in that I needed. Another issue is that Eevee is in the medium fast experience growth rate. You'd think this would be a good thing. It's really not the fastest experience growth rate at this point in the game, so it would be actually better to be either the medium slow or the fast growth rate. That would make us a higher level for the rival. I feel like we've done a decent amount of training, and we're still only level 18, which is a problem. I also don't want to use rare candies here. However, the rival's just not going to happen at level 18. I'm going to go train in Misty's gym, These two trainers give decent experience for this point in the game, but even with that, I'm still not quite level 20. I go back in, we still have the same accuracy issue. It's so close, we're just not quite getting the luck that we need. Sandshrew just can hit so many sand attacks while we try to take it down. Since we don't have a strong one-hit move that we can use like Bubble Beam, it's just really relying on luck. So I go and train up one more level in the grass to increase our damage and hopefully get through the Sandshrew as quickly as possible. Level 20 is over one of those damage rounding thresholds, so we can actually get a decent boost just going up this little bit. We do get lucky and we don't get hit by Sand Attack on Sandshrew. This obviously could have happened at level 18 if you were really lucky and just rolled the dice enough times. I didn't want to just keep resetting. We want to get through these runs with as few resets as possible. Rattata and Eevee do some damage, but it's not that scary. It's not a problem if Sand Attack isn't set up. Eevee then has no issue against the trainers on Nugget Bridge. Tackle is good enough, especially with Stab. It's going to make it through. Obviously the Rocket will be easy. He's never a problem. He only has an Ekans and a Zubat. Oh, I get poisoned early. That's okay. Zubat will just go down. Never mind. Such an unlucky run. Unfortunately, luck is really important for Eevee, so that's not boding well. 2 missed tackles in a row. We get to Charmander and name him Totally after Totally Not Isaiah. Thanks for being subscribed. We're naming all of our Pokemon after subscribers as much as possible, so get subscribed and you may see your name pop up here. Especially if you leave some comments and some support, I'm definitely going to give you a shout out. After we visit Bill, we need to tackle Misty. Not literally, we have Quick Attack now actually. I do rely on Sand Attack here, but this may have been a messy way to play this. Sand Attack is not super consistent. It does help disrupt the enemy team, but it's not really like a consistent or really predictable way to do so. After a couple of bad attempts, I realized if I am using this strategy, I just need to fully set up against a Starmie. I can't risk getting hit by Bubble Beam, it's just too strong. The defense boosts are also a problem while I set up, because while I can reduce her accuracy, my damage just gets smaller, so I'm starting to get into a bit of a tough situation where I'm going to be attacking and in this battle for way longer than I want to be. Her high base speed on Starmie, her crit chance is actually really significant. In Gen 1, all of the crit chances are based on base speed for the Pokemon. So her chance of getting a crit is actually much higher than mine, and this would be a huge issue on Bubble Beam. Eevee finally gets some luck and we get past. I then go straight to the SSN and get a few key items, including Body Slam. This is going to be an awesome move for Eevee. I also fight some trainers here, which is unusual, but Eevee needs all the help it can get. We need as much experience as possible. We're going to be really needing to train a lot later in the game. I'm trying to get as many trainers out of the way as I can, just on my route I'm already taking, so I don't have to go too far out of the way too much. With Body Slam, the rivals team is just a series of one-hits. Today it's not a problem. With that, the SSN is done. Bye, Bodhi. I love seeing this animation as a kid. What about you? Next is Surge, but Body Slam and Eevee's decent special make him a joke today. I pick up the bike and head back to Cerulean. We do pick up Squirtle here. I name him Ruben. Thank you, Ruben, for being a subscriber. Thank you everybody for your support as well. The trainers on the way to Rock Tunnel are a breeze. But then I realized I forgot the repels. That is so important for Rock Tunnel. Because this is such a long route and the encounter rate is so annoyingly high that it would take me an extra, probably a couple of minutes just running into Pokemon that's going to slow me down. So I need to get these repels, even if I have to backtrack. I do have to battle some trainers to make it back to the mart. And we do get to see the Beedrill Bugcatcher. Kind of a rare sight for these playthroughs. I learned Bite as well, which is a good upgrade to Quick Attack. Once I get the repels, I can head back to the cave and fight the self-destructing hiker. This guy is scary when you don't have a special move. Eevee does have Sand Attack, and I figured this is going to be the best way to avoid getting knocked out by his team. It does take some luck. I don't love this strategy, but Body Slam is super risky as well. It just takes too long, and it gives them a chance to use self-destruct. I just need to wait for them to explode and miss because of Sand Attack. I get unlucky and I get hit on the first try. There's a really early self-destruct from Graveler. The second one feels really bad at the beginning, but I somehow survive and get to the Graveler. The coin flip goes in my favor and I win the fight this time. I then do something unusual. I heal in Lavender Town. I also pick up Swift, which I will be using later to help with accuracy drops. I then fight all of the trainers on the route heading to Celadon because I need as much experience as I can get. Eevee with that medium fast growth rate just really needs the help, especially with some of the challenges coming up. I stop for a few more items, the PP up, as well as some nuggets and some valuable TMs in the Rocket Hideout, just so I can have a little bit more money for vitamins. Eevee needs the protein for the extra gains. I then open up Saffron City for later. Normally, I would then head to the rival fight in Pokémon Tower, because this is usually a good level for that. But instead, I will go clear out all of the trainers in Erica's gym to get even more experience, since I don't have a weakness to grass types and Eevee has Body Slam. This is some really easy and quick fights. Erica also can't do much since I'm already getting fairly high level at this point, and don't have any weakness to her or any big weaknesses or problems in my moveset. I really have a pretty solid set at this point for Eevee. At level 37, the rival fight is then a piece of cake. All one hits again. I do get a Gen 1 miss on Eevee, which is really unlucky, yet another unlucky moment for poor Eevee. But then we have the biggest problem in the run. This problem that stands before us is the Chandlers, especially this first required trainer, who has 2 Ghastly. Now you may know that Bide does work against ghosts in Gen 1. The other incredibly unlucky thing is that if I deal the damage back from one Nightshade hit, it doesn't actually knock them out. They just barely survive on a sliver. And since Nightshade is a set damage move, because of that I need 2 Nightshades in a row to knock them out. So they either need to hit 2 in a row while I am biting, or time them perfectly so I don't take damage when I'm not biting. I try this fight so many times. So many tries. Over and over. In my testing, I got through it in 10 attempts. It turns out that was super lucky. Now Lick won't do anything against me because also ghost types can't hit normal types, but if they don't time it exactly right, I lose. I also cannot hit myself in confusion at any point or the bite ends. Confuse Ray, 100% accurate, and they have a 33% chance of using it every single turn. And I believe they can even use it even if I am confused, so if I was to suddenly snap out of confusion, I can get reconfused immediately. I even go out and level up one more time and use 4 rare candies to increase my HP as much as I can. This level gives me a way to still have a chance to win, so you notice that I did knock out the Ghastly with just one use of Nightshade that hit me during Bide. This is because in Generation 1, status effects do cause 1 HP of damage, but this actually included somehow in Bide. But even then, it's not over, because another Chandler gets even luckier and knocks me out even with just 1 Ghastly. I finally make it to the top of the tower, I kick out Team Rocket and get that sweet, sweet Poke Flute. I train even more on the bike route, complete the Safari Zone, clear the Fighting Dojo, and we can go to the Sylph Building. Here we're going to fight all of the trainers again, beat them all, get their experience, pick up a few more essential items, and then we can head to the 5th rival battle. Eevee is now level 50, so I am expecting this fight to not be too bad. Sandslash is still a little scary, but in the first fight, Cloyster gets a crit with Clamp. In Gen 1, a crit with a multi-turn move will be a crit every turn of that move. And it gets a 5-hit. Wow. That just deals too much damage, and the bite from Flareon knocks me out. It's just too much to handle. The second fight is better. Clamp still crits, which is crazy lucky, but does not deal enough damage because of paralysis. I make it past Magneton, luckily one-hit Kadabra, and then easily deal with Flareon. Giovanni does have a type advantage, and Double Kick does deal some crazy damage, so I'm a little bit scared there, but luckily Eevee is high enough level to survive just by a sliver. I am very over-leveled at this point, which is good for Eevee. I then stop by the Copycat and get Mimic. This will be key for the rest of the playthrough, and it will be immediately useful against Koga. He is weak against his own moves, so I steal Psychic. I do get hit by Toxic, but I knock out his team so quickly that the poison does not have enough time to build up and deal enough damage. This is where Eevee's decent special comes in handy. Psychic does great damage against these poison bug types. Then I head straight to Sabrina. I had a specific strategy in mind, where I would get hit by Flash intentionally to get badge boosted and then be able to outspeed and knock out the rest of the team with Swift. You can see me try it, but then I just resort to brute force. because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to keep Abra alive long enough to make it worth my time. But that works out just as well. Her team are a bunch of glass cannons, so they just go down. Blaine is often a scary gym leader in Yellow. He got a huge upgrade for this version. I have Mimic, but I don't think it's going to be very helpful here. I get hit with some big attacks on the first try, so I get reset and I try again. I get much better luck, and then just body slam my way through his team. Giovanni is back now, but I have a speed issue going into this fight. Eevee is too slow and can get knocked out by Fissure or hit by Sand Attack before the fight even gets going. I decide to use 4 rare candies to get up to level 63 to be able to outspeed the Doug trio. This makes the fight much better. After I mimic Earthquake, I have great damage against the Nidos and the Rhydon. When I get good luck with guard spec, then I can make it through without getting too close at the end. I don't know why he uses so many guard specs. And now the rival returns, and the team is stronger than ever. Body Slam luck is on my side though, and even with the poison status, I'm able to just rush through him and his team, knock out his ace, and get the win. But that's not the hardest challenge, we still have some brutal challenges to get through. We're going to start with the Elite Four. Lorelei is the first member here. I can use the time that Dugong is resting to knock it out, it's not too bad. Cloyster is tough, but when I play poorly trying to set up against a Slowbro and try to get Amnesia, it just opens it up too much, and Slowbro takes Eevee down. I do think that stealing Amnesia is the move here, so I go back in and I make it back to the Slowbro, but with more health this time. Getting Amnesia is helpful for her entire team, but I still have to be wary of being frozen. I make sure to get all the way set up, I am badge boosted now, so Body Slam is going to do some extra damage, and it's going to work like a charm against Jinx, who has very low defense, and Lapras, who can't do that much damage back to me. Now Bruno should be easy, he always is. Even Pokemon with weaknesses here are usually fine. I just need to mimic Dig and hit Onix. Oh, just keep trying Dig. Wow, the Onix outsmarting me with the Dig turns. I keep missing as he goes underground, then I go underground. Total mess. I finally figure it out, but Machamp is just able to knock Eevee out at the end. It's just bad play. Ouch. But when we go back in and play smarter, it is still an easy fight. Bruno really isn't that bad, even for a normal type. If only he knew how to hit a submission, he could have been a little bit better. But then Agatha is the next big challenge for Eevee. I no longer have Bide to deal damage to Gengar like I did to the Ghastlies before, but I don't think that's a good strategy for her. I just wouldn't have enough HP to make it through the fight. Instead, I steal Lick, which is super effective against Ghost Pokemon and could possibly paralyze. I don't think that it can though in Gen 1 because of the way that status affects same type Pokemon, so I don't think I'm actually going to be able to get a paralysis, unfortunately. With Lick, the strategy is simple. Just use it on the Ghosts, but only use Body Slam on the Arbok and Golbat. I need to save the PP. It is a little scary with the confusion and sleep tactics. The Sand Attack helps prevent those status problems since Hypnosis already has bad accuracy. Eevee very nearly does it on the first try, but at the last moment, Gengar gets a lucky crit with Psychic and knocks me out. I think the plan worked well enough that I just tried the same thing again. One worry I had is that I would run out of PP for Lick before I knocked out the last Gengar. It's very limited because I'm using Mimic to get it. If that happened, it would just be a loss, since I can't deal any damage in any other way. I used 2 of my 3 PP ups on Mimic to try to give Eevee its best chance. I did use 1 on Body Slam earlier in the run just to get more use out of my moves before I had to heal, since I was doing so much training. Maybe I could have gotten the PP max, that might have helped. Everyone loves some max PP. But even then, Eevee makes it through on literally the last use of Lick. Finally, some good luck. For Lance, if I can make it to the second Dragonair, I can get Ice Beam, which makes the rest of the fight work. Luckily, Body Slam works great on Gyarados and both of the dragons. I get Ice Beam, and I can knock out the Dragonair and the Dragonite very easily with it, and it will do much more damage against Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl, however, gets a lucky crit with Fly, and I get so scared I thought I lost there. But with just a sliver of HP remaining, I knock out the Dragonite with Ice Beam. Now with that, finally, Eevee makes it to the champion. I really wanted Earthquake for later in the fight, so I make sure to steal it early, but then Slash does so much damage that I get knocked out right away. At least a quick loss doesn't slow me down too badly, I can just reset and do it again. I jump right back in and use a little bit of Sand Attack this time. I then realized that if I set up all the way, I can just use Rest to heal up since Sand Slash won't be hitting that much and can't do that much damage. I get Earthquake and then I just start to knock it out with Body Slam, but then I get a Paralysis down. Then I figure I should heal again. After a little nap, I slam the Sand Slash and do the same to the Kadabra. Executor is pretty bulky though, and I don't really have anything particularly good here. I just go for Body Slam, but I get hit by Leech Seed in the process. I almost use Rest again, but I figure if I can win now, I just should go for it. That was a little overconfident because Cloyster is up soon. I Earthquake the Magneton and then start setting up some sand attacks on the Cloyster. I am forced to heal again, and then it is a slow struggle to take down the Cloyster because of Leech Seed. This is such a strong combo in Gen 1, a bulky defender and Leech Seed, especially with Clamp that can trap you in the fight and then keep dealing both Clamp damage and Leech Seed. So scary. Luckily, I am doing just enough damage and my sand attacks are making Clamp so unuseful and so unreliable that I'm able to make it through and get to Flareon. With Flareon, easy one hit with Earthquake. And with that, Eevee finally completed the game. He beat the champion. We completed the game with a real time of 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 56 seconds, with a playtime of 5 hours and 50 minutes. Eevee did so well today. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. If there's anybody that you know that loves retro games, make sure to share this with them. And with that, have a wonderful day.